Greetings, metalheads. Today I'd like to talk about one of the pioneers of what nowadays gets called hair metal. Yes, we're talking about Ratt, and Ratt was one of the original bands to come out of the LA scene along with Quiet Riot, Dokken. And I often think that Ratt actually doesn't quite get the credit that they deserve. Looking back, they've delivered really solid albums. I mean, the first 4 albums are like chock and block full of just quality tracks, and they've really written good material, especially considering that if you think about the later LA scene where a lot of the bands just appeared for 1 or 2 albums and then vanished off the scene. So Ratt actually have a fantastic track record, and if you've been following the media recently, there's a big upstir about Motley Crue. And even Stephen Pearcy sort of mentioned, bands should have more respect for each other, and especially now that nobody's getting any younger, and bands should rather be touring together and keeping that memory alive and sort of doing LA scene revisited kind of thing. And there's been a lot of back and forth. A lot of people are asking for a Ratt reunion, especially now with the Atlantic Years box set coming out. There's been a bit of talk. Bobby Blotzer has been online, and Stephen Pearcy a lot, but you don't hear a lot from Warren DeMartini or Juan Croucier. And so it remains to be seen if the band is actually going to reform next year and just do a couple of shows and basically end on a high note and everybody pat each other on the back and say, listen, we had a good run. Would be the adult thing to do, and a great thing to do for the fans as well. Even if they decide, look, we're just going to play shows and that's it, we're not going to do another album, then that's fine. As a Ratt fan, that'd be fine by me. The other opinion out there is that they should get Carlos Cavazo in on second guitar and do another album like Infestation. And but we don't know the whole stories behind it and whatever. Anyway, I decided to do a bit of a ranking of my own of the Ratt albums. And preparing for this ranking, I had to listen through all of them again, and not all of them. There's some latter ones that I just skipped out of this ranking, like the Yellow album. I don't know. That's, for me, it's just not a Ratt record. And but the most important ones I've kept in mind. And we're going to kick off with 1984's Out of the Cellar. Still have this on vinyl. There's Tawny Kitaen, rest in peace, on the cover. She used to date Robbin Crosby, and sadly she left us, and she had an acting career, I believe. Anyway, this album brought forth the big single for Ratt, Round and Round, but then you still have great tracks like Wanted Man, with really cool riffs, and that's the twin guitar attack with Ratt was always a feature that I enjoyed a lot. Then you've got really catchy tracks like In Your Direction, She Wants Money, Lack of Communication, another really cool typical Ratt riff. Back for More, Morning After, I'm Insane, and Scene of the Crime. Scene of the Crime, I think, is a deep cut there, hidden at the back. I really always enjoyed that one. Yeah, the Ratt albums have always been produced by Beau Hill. I think Beau Hill also worked with let me get this right, Warrant, I believe, and Winger. I think it was Winger. Yeah, really like a recipe for success. And I think Ratt would never like Motley with all the big scandals and, people dying in car accidents and married to film stars and getting locked up for domestic violence and all that kind of shit. So they really just let the music do the talking, really. And Lord knows what would have happened if this band was more dirty, and more out there with documentaries and books and just constantly in the media for some or other ridiculous thing. So yeah, it really goes back to just the musicianship. And if you ask me, the musicianship on the Ratt albums is far superior to that of Motley Crue and many other even bigger LA sleaze, hard hair bands, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, really stellar debut. Not my absolute favorite. So I'm going to do a bit of a weird ranking. I'll be ranking this as my number 3. So I'm doing it a bit weird. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to start chronologically. So this will be my number 3. Next on, we'll be covering my favorite Ratt album, 1985's Invasion of Your Privacy. Now, this album is just quality from start to finish. And another thing I wanted to add is this band has never recorded a ballad. Yes, Poison, yes, Guns N' Roses, yes, Motley, yes, name them all. No slurpy, cutesy ballad ever. It's just rock and roll, Ratt and roll for that matter, and just tracks, bang, 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 bang. Great riffs, great solos by Warren DeMartini. Also, let's not cut Robbin Crosby short. Often heralded as the sort of the backbone of the band, the guy that always kept it together and always brought a lot of enthusiasm, and was also a very important part of the songwriting process in I believe the first 3 albums. Really, it was only later where he sort of fizzled out and things caught up with him, unfortunately. I remember, as long as I've known this band, I think Robbin was always very a striking person in terms of when you got posters in RIAA or Blast magazine or whatever they were all called, and I think he really, visually and from a musician's point of view, he was really everything like rock star, you know. But apparently he was a very down-to-earth and kind person. Robbin actually produced I think it was the first, let me get this right, Lily and Axe album. I'll have to Google which one it is. I don't have the title in my head right now, but he did he produced that album. So he was also very into supporting new bands. Anyway, here we go again. I don't know if this is Tawny again on the cover. I'm not sure, but I always love the cover. You know, I love the first one, Out of the Cellar. I love this one. I even love Dancing. Yeah, but we'll get to that. Here you have the nice little photos of the lot. And once again, here the songs go. You're in Love, bang. Great riff, opening riff. Never Use Love comes in right there, storming out of the gate, second song. Lay It Down, that riff. Oh, great. Then Give It All, you know, really like a pounder. Closer to My Heart, yes, that's probably the closest, if you ask me, that they ever got to a ballad, you know, and it's not really a ballad, it's probably just a quieter song on the album. Then side 2 opens up again with Right Between the Eyes, What You Give Is What You Get, Got Me on the Line, just a up-tempo rocker. You Should Know By Now, Dangerous But Worth the Risk. What can be said for like 9 out of 10 songs is that it's all up-tempo and they just keep it rocking and in your face, you know. It's really enjoyable, and it's just the inner sleeve. Once again, produced by Beau Hill, who was the sort of in-house producer for, I think, the rock acts by Atlantic Records. This actually had a sticker on there. It came loose, but yeah, so I'll just keep it in the plastic sleeve. Oh, that's kind of nice, huh? Anyway, so that would be my number 1. Off to my number 2 favorite Ratt records, and this comes in a close second. That was very tough. Definitely Dancing Undercover from 1986, once again produced by Beau Hill. This is another no slow songs, just in your face from top to bottom, and all killer, no filler. Kicking off with Dance, then One Good Lover, opening up with a great heavy riff. Drive Me Crazy is a really manic song, just keeps pounding. Slip of the Lip is a bit more laid back, more groove. Body Talk is almost like a speed metal track, you know, it's like really fast double bass kind of thing. Then Looking for Love, 7th Avenue, It Doesn't Matter is a really catchy groover. Take a Chance, and then they end off with another shit kicker, Enough's Enough. Yeah, what can I say? Quality music, the dual guitar attack, Crosby and DeMartini, really fantastic. Sorely missed this man, sorely missed. Yeah, Ratt talked about the reunion, or the will it ever happen reunion. Stephen Pearcy has really been going on with his own band. and which comprises of Eric Ferrentinos on lead guitar. I think it's Johnny Monaco from X Enough's Enough on second guitar, and on bass, I think it's Matt Thor from who used to be in Rough Cut and used to be in the early incarnations. I think Mickey Ratt, and Scott Coogan on drums. So yeah, so Pearcy is still waving the flag and playing all the cruises and out there and keeping it active. So we can only hope that these boys get it together. So that would be now. Oh yeah, now we're jumping to number 4. Now, Reach for the Sky. Oh gee, 88. 1988. There we go. No Tony this time either. And yeah, this is when it first started taking a bit of a dip, the sound quality. It's still a strong record, but yeah, once again, produced by Beau Hill and Mike Stone, and good songs on here. City to City is a real rocker. I Want a Woman, really cool, typical Ratt song. Way Cool Jr. is a really groovy, yeah, it's a bit of a departure from the Ratt style, I would say. It's more of a, I wouldn't just say commercial, it's more like funky bluesy kind of rhythms. Then it's back to typical track like Don't Bite the Hand That Feeds, I Want to Love You Tonight. Yes, there we go. That's a slight, but slightly balladesque, just from a tempo point of view, I would say. Then they open up furiously again with Chain Reaction on the B side. No Surprise. Bottom Line has got a really nice guitar. Opening riff. Oh no, sorry, that's What's It Gonna Be. No, Bottom Line. Bottom Line is before that. What's It Gonna Be? He's got that riff. Sorry, getting mixed up. And ending the album with What I'm After. Overall, a good album, but it doesn't quite leave you with the same sort of aftertaste that Invasion or Dancing or Cellar really do. Yeah, so that'd be my number 4. Over to my number 5. I don't have the props because I don't own the album. I never wanted to own it because there's probably only one track I like of the album, and that's from the album Detonator from 1990. That's when they started collaborating with Desmond Child and Diane Warren, and I always thought, yeah, no, this band is so good at songwriting. Why? And I think even John Bon Jovi sings on one of the tracks, which I also think is superfluous. It's yeah, the material is just not that strong. I always really enjoyed. I enjoyed the opening track, Shame, Shame, Shame. It's a killer song. It's got a killer riff. Great. Then Loving You's a Dirty Job. Yeah. It's almost as if the first thought I had way back then when I heard that song the first time, I thought, are they now trying to be more like the other sleaze bands? You know, that groove, Loving You. And it's such a la 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 chorus. It's just under the niveau of typical Ratt song. I don't know. Scratch That Itch, One Step Away. Hard Time is an up-tempo pounder. That's probably quite a solid song as well. Heads I Win, Tails You Lose has got John Bon Jovi guest vocaling on it. Yeah. All or Nothing, Can't Wait on Love, Giving Yourself Away, Top Secret. I honestly, I've listened to the songs again, and they just don't really grab me. I couldn't even hum 3 or 4 of them, really. So that really was a dip for me. And I'm going to skip everything after that. And I think the final album that came in then for me, which was a return to form, is when they got Carlos Cavazo in. Sadly, after this album, Detonator, Robbin Crosby died. And yeah, they got, years later, they got, let me just check the year on that. Infestation 2010. So that's the last album, Ratt. Yeah, that's the yellow album, which I'm not even going to go into. So, wow, 1999, that's about 10 years later they came on with Infestation. That was quite a solid album, man, really. I should actually rank Infestation, come to think of it, before Detonator, because I think overall the album is stronger. It's got Eat Me Up Alive, Best of Me, A Little Too Much, Look Up Below, Last Call, Last Weekend, As Good As It Gets, and so forth. Yeah, what can I say? The only thing one could hope for is that they do another album in that lineup with Cavazo, which I think is a nice match, actually. And quite interesting for those that didn't know, there was actually a time period, I don't know exactly when it was it during the dancing years or Invasion? There was some point where actually Michael Schenker had a guest slot or filled in for a while in Ratt, so quite interesting that. I need to actually look that up and find out exactly when that was and why. So yeah, there you go. There's my little ranking of the Ratt albums. Like I said, highly underrated. Well, they did sell their platinums, make no mistake, but I just think there are certain acts out there really cashing in, and they're so mediocre, and now it's like playbacks, and it's just weak and really nasty firings and mudslinging and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think if a band really deserved it from a sound quality point of view and just from looking at their roster, it would be Ratt. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Be interested to hear what you think. Check it out, and we'll see you next time.